Today is October 11th, 2023, and our guest today is he's a man, he's a comedian, he's a lawyer, he's a political commentator, if you will, and we're very happy to have him here today. Today's episode is brought to you by getting the empty boxes lying around your house, or having to find a place to put those boxes when you order something and it comes in a large box and you keep the box because you don't know if you're going to need it again later. And so now you're tasked with trying to find a place for that box. So thank you to our sponsors, and let's get into the episode. Enjoy Wes Austin. Taps or what have you. Yeah, go ahead and pick that up, why don't you? Man, this has been a long time coming, Wes. We're happy to have you here.
Pleasure to be here, Trey.
Now, I kind of, after seeing your last podcast appearance, which I'm gonna splice in some of the footage that I got from that, and talking to you about it, and you said, I just wanted to talk comedy. I just wanted to talk about comedy, and this guy's grilling me. So I wanted to give you a chance. I wanted to give you a platform to be able to talk about stuff that you actually want to talk about, Wes, you are... How would you describe yourself, Wes?
Middle-aged man who didn't pursue his dreams and is just sad all the time. And no,
that's a real bummer.
No. So,
welcome to Deadbeat Son.
Patent lawyer by day, comedian by night. Also trying to be a YouTube guy, doing little political joke headline videos along those lines.
And those are working very well for you.
Yeah, they've actually been
those
the
shorts.
only thing that kind of got me any traction was when I started doing the headlines with the joke. They started getting a little bit of traction on YouTube. Before that, I could not get views to save my life. And
yeah,
I was stuck at like 64 subscribers for like 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just nuts. I couldn't get a subscriber to save my life. So,
and so then where did you get the idea? How did you decide, to start doing these political shorts?
So I started doing, it was back around during the election when Trump was saying he won and he didn't win and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I started doing these legal briefs is what I call them, where I would talk about certain cases, and they started getting a little bit of traction. And then I started being a little less legal and a little bit more just something about the headlines, and I'd try to put in a joke.
Yeah.
And I noticed they were getting a little bit more traction too. And then, so that's when I started doing more in that area. And then I tried doing a short or two, and I had a few of those really take off. And that's when I thought, okay, I'm going to do YouTube shorts just with a headline and a joke, because that was kind of the one thing that seemed like it was getting a little bit of attention.
Yeah.
But that's how I kind of started going in that direction. Is it legal stuff, a little bit of headline with a little bit of humor, and then straight to just headlines with joke.
Man, that's got to be probably the most boring lead-in to doing comedy.
Yeah, I'm a patent lawyer, so I like to be as boring as possible. I hope no one's watching still. I hope it's just me and you.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to cut all this out like,
hold on,
it was the worst.
I got to do something. I have that. Hold on, I got to do one more clap. All right, we're keeping all that in. That is the most that's probably that's a very what a very calculated way to get into doing into comedy. And you were doing stand up before that.
Yeah. I've been doing stand-up since 2014.
Oh.
And usually people say, man, I thought you'd be a lot better by now. That's...
Oh, bro,
Dude,
that's
I get
the most,
that all
that's the
the
most
time.
brutal.
It's
Yeah.
just like a kick in the face. I got it I swear to you, a few weeks ago in a green room with someone. And when I said I've been doing it that long, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Like,
Dude.
why don't you just stand up and say I suck? Just don't I get it. I got it.
It's funny you mention that because like when I was in LA, people would be saying, sorry, out here, well, a lot of places, when people like open micers like to say that they've been doing comedy longer than they have, like a lot of the time, like if someone says they've been doing it, they'll say they've been doing it for 5 years, right? Well, that usually a lot of the time that means, 5 years ago they did an open mic at a coffee shop, and then 2 years later they tried it again, and then did it every other week, and then now they're doing it regularly, But they want to say they've been doing it because they want to seem more like they've been doing it longer, right? Whereas like in places like LA, you'd have people who've been doing comedy for 10, 12 years, and if they have a good set somewhere, they go they lie the other way. They say like I just started, because they want to seem like this prodigy,
Nice.
And I get what you mean, because I hosted like a dry bar taping months ago, maybe a year ago, and on one of the shows, like the Friday Late Show, I bombed my goddamn ass off. Sorry for the language. I gotta keep it clean this episode. I bombed my fucking ass off, man. There's no other way to describe it. I'm sorry. That's what happened. I bombed so hard, and one of the guys who had just taped his special asked me how long I've been doing it, and I think I was like, and I had to tell him 8 years, and I just felt awful. Like, he's like, nah, it was all good, man. You still learning, you still doing it. How long you been doing this? And I was like, 8 years, and he was like, oh, all right, well. I was like, fuck, dude, I should have told him the first time or something. Because that's the move. You got to if you lower the bar, you seem better. And I have to address this. I cannot help but notice how pale I am sitting next to you, Wes Austin.
I got a little bit of sun in the summer. I had to do some yard work, so I do look like I'm a little bit more tan.
We look like different races. Like, we look like completely... We're both white, but you wouldn't know that from looking at us, dude.
Well, you are whiter.
I'm white.
And I'm...
Yeah.
I don't know what
you got a nice complex,
Is that like a Mediterranean? I don't know what
you look like.
Yeah.
What are you, though?
Oh, I'm straight up
Just...
Yeah, like British, Irish, a little bit of... Yeah.
Let them know.
Yeah. I've got my 23andMe, so it's all and like some small fraction of Neanderthal. So
sure, why not?
That's
well, you're only human, for crying out loud.
That's where I get my biceps from.
Oh, fuck the biceps.
Neanderthal.
Yeah, you're also jacked. You're a jacked patent lawyer. Are you you got to be the most jacked in your office, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You said don't even.
Yeah. Come on.
What does a patent lawyer usually look like? Me.
Patent lawyers okay, so if you, except for probably no facial hair.
Sure.
Shorter hair.
Yeah.
And then just pastier.
Can you get how much?
Oh, you can get way pastier. Just if you imagine someone working on their computer in the basement for like 4 years without going outside.
Yeah. Like a
That
Seth
would be-
Tippett.
Yeah. Seth Tippett.
Yeah.
He's definitely there.
Shout out to Seth, my boy over there. Golly, huh? So,
Because
okay.
most of them are like computer nerd, sciencey, because they've got to have a technical degree to become a patent lawyer.
Sure.
So
you
they're
gotta
kind
be-
of the nerdy side of.
You got to dweeb it up a little bit.
Yeah. Dweeb.
Now, okay. Did you get into is patent lawyering what you wanted to do, or it was just kind of like you're good at it and it makes you money and it's not terrible to do?
Yeah, it's probably that one because I was thinking when I was younger, like I think my dad told me I should be a doctor or a lawyer. So I wrote those on
And
the
you
wall
picked
when I
one
was
of them.
like 12, and I had the whole thing laid out. If I do a doctor, here's all the stuff I have to do. If I'm going to be a lawyer, here's the stuff. And then I realized I didn't like blood. Like
Wow.
it would make me
little
lightheaded
queasy.
and queasy.
Sure.
So I had to take the doctor out.
Yeah.
And then, but it was mainly because I could make a decent living and provide for family and all that stuff.
That was like your goal. That's been like your goal. See, because you're also like Utah born and raised.
Yeah.
Through and through.
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
blood.
Yes.
That you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
like.
Yeah.
So you had, man, it's so interesting. That's actually kind of more interesting to me to talk about. We will talk comedy. Don't worry. I'm not going to just be grilling you. But
The hot seat.
yeah. Oh, just wait. It's coming. I'm putting you in the hot seat. Does your wife obey you?
Oh my
Is that what
gosh.
I'm gonna
I'm
start
going to
off?
start to just like,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
can.
Okay, we'll talk about that too. But, because this is the Deadbeat Son podcast, right? So this is so you're actually a really great guest to have on here because you have, your life, at least from what I've seen. Everyone's got their ups and downs and trials and tribulations, but it seems like you had a good family. I heard your dad could be a little tense, a little angry, right?
Sometimes loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Often
Yeah,
loud. And then, your mom was just an angel on earth to quote you. But you had a stable family.
Yeah. So I, mom and dad, 8 kids.
Yeah.
I was number 6, but my dad taught school. My mom was stay-at-home mom, just trying to make sure we didn't, tear the house down.
Sure.
But yeah, it was a good upbringing. Kind of a little. We had one stoplight in the town, so kind of a small town.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of knew if somebody did something crazy one weekend, you'd all talk about it at church on Sunday, and then during the school, you're like, "Did you hear what so and so did?" Like, yeah. So everybody kind of knew a lot of what was going on all the time. So
up in your business. Now, what what is like a crazy thing that would happen over a weekend that you'd be talking about at church? Like, what's kind of the level of craziness we're talking here?
Okay, yeah, we should calibrate.
Yeah.
What craziness was.
Yeah. Maybe it was a little Mountain Dew, but
let's say
sugar?
somebody made out with somebody else over the weekend. That was crazy. Crazy.
And everyone's talking, the whole town's talking
Yeah.
about it.
I mean, that's when I was younger. That was or the really crazy stuff was when someone might try some alcohol.
Oh, hey. Whoa.
That's
I don't know what kind of podcast you thought this was.
but that that was a very conservative community. I know that's
Sure.
fine, but back then, if somebody had
That's so interesting. Did you like that? How did you feel about everybody? Because I could see I could see enjoying that in a way, or enjoying that feeling of having this whole community that knows you and that and it's it's everybody. Everywhere you look, it's and you could feel very comfortable with that. But I could also see in that being pretty kind of stressful and annoying.
Yeah. I mean, looking back, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know any different, so I just thought,
Yeah.
yeah, well, you better don't try to make out. That's going to be, that leads to other,
Yeah.
and that.
Sure. Yeah.
So anyway, very conservative area.
Could lead to trying, a Mountain Dew with sugar. Okay. We can't have that. God forbid. Any sugar in that. Yeah, no, we can't be smooching, can't be making out. But so okay, cuz like I've lived in a small town too, but I was like in the trailer park of that town.
Wait, was this when you were younger?
Yeah, like in Canada.
Okay. What part of Canada?
Winnipeg. And then a little town outside of Winnipeg called Selkirk.
Okay. So you had a small town.
A little bit, yeah, when I was younger, but then I moved around so much. So I didn't really get to know a lot of places very well, And then when you keep leaving a place, you kind of stop getting too involved with it, cuz it's like, well, we're probably going to be leaving soon anyway,
Right.
Like I was in one place till I was 4 or 5, and then another place for 2 years, and another place for 2 years, another place for a few years, So I was kind of, nomadic, right?
Yeah. That'd be tough because you don't have. I'm just thinking how hard that would be because I grew up same place,
Yeah.
same house, my whole
way.
Yeah, everything. So all the people I knew, the kids I knew, the families I knew were all the same.
Sure.
So, yeah.
It's so interesting. Just like the different and look what it makes us. You were right. That's what we learned is that way is the better way to be. If you can, because I used to think like, I was always moving around a lot. Yeah, I didn't have that growing up, but I feel like it made me good at A, B, and C or whatever. But then I meet someone like you who did everything that they were supposed to do, and it worked out very well for you. And I'm like, shit.
No. I mean, I'm grateful for my childhood, and I think it turned out well.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it would be. Some people might not like that kind of.
Sure. Yeah.
But
it's just you look at us. You see us on the screen, and it's like one of us had a stable upbringing and paid attention and worked hard, and then there's one that didn't, and I implore you to guess which one is which. Is it the jacked, tan, rich guy, or is it the feeble, tattooed, maybe trans thing next to him? It's like I'm translucent. You can kind of see through my skin, and you still got like 10 years on me.
But look at how amazingly successful you are at comedy. See, you're getting you're always on huge shows.
Now we're gonna bring
you're
this up. You got more followers than me too.
No,
not only
oh my
that,
gosh, I wasn't. I was talking about just stand up. How you're just
yeah.
It's transfer.
It's all right.
Great comedy, great bits.
Yeah, thank you.
You saw me last night. Eat it hard. Did you see that? Have you ever seen somebody like not get one sound for like 30 seconds? I was gonna throw the mic at him. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna calm down. But it was rough. Did you? Anyway, it was.
I don't think I saw
last
your
night.
set.
Sucked.
Really? I had fun.
You always have fun. See, it's because you're the fun guy, and I'm like.
Yeah, you're the stable.
He's like the uptight. Okay, just.
You
who's
could play.
this
You
guy?
could play on that though. You could make that more your thing. You just gotta figure it out how to translate it.
That's what I
like.
think.
It's there. You can write comedically. You do write funny stuff. You have the ability. You just gotta once you find like that, there's almost like a switch that you kind of just start to understand yourself better, or like your myself on stage better, I should say. Like, and I think honestly, like just watching my own clips, watching my footage, after a mic or a show, whatever, going back and watching it, like, has made all the difference in like my writing and stuff. Because it's like you see what you look like, and we all have an idea of what we want to look like when we're doing stand-up. But when you watch yourself, you go, okay, this is what I like that I'm doing, and this is what I don't like that I'm doing. And then you can start to work on like, all right, how do I become the guy that I think I should be, that I think I am,
Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, when I started comedy, I was always... Were you here when I was wearing the nice shirt and tie? Or when you came here, was it after the pandemic?
It was during. So
During.
It was 2020, August of 2020 when I got here.
Because I felt like when I started, I was always coming from the office. So I had like my nice dress shirt, tie. Sometimes I would wear cufflinks.
Don't do it to him, Wes. Not the cufflinks.
Well, and then when I think it was during the pandemic, I wasn't going to the office anymore. So I started just going casually to the club, and it actually felt better.
Yeah.
And I felt more relaxed. And so I felt like I figured a little bit of something out.
Yeah.
But I still don't think I'm all the way there yet. But before that, I felt like, I think when I get on stage, people just think, who is this prick? I just because before I would say anything, they're like, oh, look at this jerk. Look at him.
Yeah.
Start shirt, cufflinks, tie. Okay.
Right.
His life rough. So I felt like
I was probably one of those.
I don't know if it was just in my head or not, but I felt like I feel like I'm starting off at a negative before I can even open my mouth.
Right.
And so I feel more comfortable not doing, at least being more casual, but I still feel like I haven't figured out that last piece. I'm just not. Dang it.
Yeah. I know that feeling. I've known that feeling, and from what I've gathered, it doesn't go away. Even from like, touring headliners that I talk to and whatever, I'll express some of that frustration. Like I forget who I was just talking to. Oh, Kostaki Economopoulos. It's a big name, but he just did a dry bar thing, and we were chatting about. Actually, you might like this too. So, he's been doing comedy for over 30 years. This guy.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. And he's worked with everybody. He mentions it in his set, all the people that he's worked with. And I was telling him, like, man, I feel like for the last, year or so, I felt like that I'm at this level and I'm ready. But I feel like I'm ready for the next step. But I don't quite know what the next step is or how to get there, Maybe it's touring, maybe it's whatever, But I feel like I'm ready for something, and I don't know what that is yet. And he goes, yeah, man, I've been feeling that for 30 years. I go, shit. And so once he said, that he's worked with so many people, all night I was asking him, what's this guy like? What's this guy like? What's this guy like? Did I tell you this already?
No. It's fascinating.
So I asked him, the one I was really wanting to know, I said, Louis.
Okay.
What do you got on him?
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, I know Louis. He goes, I worked with Louis. He's like, I used to play cards with Louis all the time, like at his place. And he said Louis stopped doing, he stopped having poker night because he was so bad at it. He was always losing money. But he got some really good writing advice from Louis, and you might appreciate this. Because when Louis started, have you seen like older clips of Louis when
I've
he's
seen
like
some
young with hair and shit?
Yeah.
This kind of jokes he's telling, they're very obscure and silly, almost one-liner-ish kind of stuff, and abstract kind of stuff, And he'd been doing that for like 20 or for like maybe 15, 20 years until he started, and he wasn't getting much. You could go do clubs here and there, but he wasn't Louis. And then this kind of shift happened where he starts talking about, on stage, he starts talking about his life and his kids and more everyday kind of mundane stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And so this guy, Kostaki, asked him about that because, he goes like, why and how did you make that shift? Because that's the stuff that Louis blew up with when he's talking about his kids. They're talking about being 40 and, And Louis said that he read this book about the California gold rush miners, okay? And how there were these, they're all digging for gold, right? They're trying to get to that gold, baby. And along the way, they'd find like silver and whatever, and they'd kind of just toss it because they're trying to get that gold. And Louis said that he applied that to his writing, because some of the most profitable people were the ones who collected all the silver and held on to that. They were some of the most successful. So he applied that to his writing, and instead of like always trying to think of what's the perfect joke, what's that joke that you just can't quite get, right? Meanwhile, he's ignoring all of his everyday thoughts that just kind of come and go. Yeah, whatever. He said he started paying attention to those, collecting those thoughts that you think this is nothing, or everyone's thought of this or whatever. That's the shit that ended up making him.
Oh man, that's fascinating.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, it's like you. I heard there's some quote. God, I think it's a quote about somebody from the Beatles. I think, and they said sometimes you're trying to make the thing so perfect that you ruin it. Like it's like you're focused on that one thing so much that you're.
And a lot of the time, and so for our case, like that thing that we're trying to find, that like perfect joke or whatever it is, it's like it might not even exist. And a lot of time it doesn't even exist. It's like we don't even know what we're trying to find, but we just know there's something better over there. Meanwhile, it's like, yeah, get out of it. Fuck this, there's all this nonsense. But like that's the stuff, and and so I've tried to start applying that, to myself, and some of those bits like that have come from that thought process are like the most fun to do for me now. I'm having the most fun, like the ick thing.
Oh yeah.
Or just like even that one last night I did about the funhouse mirrors. I thought that was so stupid when I first came up with the idea, but then I went and did it, and I had fun with it. It needs some work, but like I still had fun. And same with like that belly button joke. Like it's just so silly and ridiculous, but it's like, because we are, comedians, for crying out loud. We are comedy writers. Yeah. So even the stuff that we think is just, whatever, it's like, well, we could actually do that in a funny way. We could actually express that in a more creative and funny way than like most people who don't do comedy. Yeah. And so it's like not trying so hard in a way.
Yeah. Like you heard my pineapple bit I talk about.
Yeah.
That one, I remember it happened, and I thought, I'm just going to throw it out before I start my regular set. It's kind of a funny, weird thing. Yeah. And it got a huge reaction.
There you go.
And I'm like, wait a minute. Because I didn't think about it for a while. I wasn't like, okay, this is really something. It was more like, anyway. And that's now it's one of my favorite bits to do. Exactly. And it came from nothing, which was just kind of, and then, I don't know, I've got these, because I'm a lawyer, I've always thought I need to do some lawyer stuff. Yeah. And then, but I have the hardest time doing it because it's not as fun to do. And I also feel like sometimes the crowd, as soon as I say I'm a lawyer, they go, oh, you think you're cool? Right. And name dropping your job like that. Oh, life's rough. And I don't know if it's all in my head or if it's real, but in my head, I'm thinking, oh, I kind of lost the crowd already because now they think I'm a douche. And so anyway, I don't know if that like the lawyer stuff is like the gold that I need to just like forget about it, stop trying to come up with stuff that will, or if it's like, I struggle with that all the time. I should do more lawyer stuff, but I don't find it as fun. And
Yeah.
so, and I also don't know if people will relate to it and think, oh yeah, I can't. What do you? Okay, that's
Right.
I just don't know if they'll like completely
I could see
check
that.
out.
I can see where you're coming from. I will say you are in your head too much for sure.
I knew
we
it.
all are.
Yeah.
You know, but especially with that kind of stuff, because it's like, but it's tough. It's got to be tough for you because it's like you go from, you know, this like serious real job to goofing off and doing whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So I get why you would, you know, think of it more seriously, but you know, from an audience, from my perspective as an audience member, it's like when you say you're a lawyer, it's more like, I think it's more intriguing when you say it on stage because that doesn't happen. You don't see a lot of lawyers doing comedy. So I think it's more intriguing in a positive way than it is like, oh, fuck this guy, he's got a real job. You know, I think it's more interesting, if anything, because it's like, oh, okay, so we could, maybe we'll, you know, who knows what he'll say. You know, he's got some funny quips about patent laws.
I remembered a lawyer bit that I was going to try to do.
All right.
And it didn't really work, but I don't know if it's because they hated me or not. So can I just tell you what it was?
Yeah, lay it on me.
Because I don't think you've heard. So
it's a Deadbeat Son exclusive.
Yeah. So one of the hard things to figure out when you're a lawyer, you have to bill. So you're always billing your time, how many billable hours you have. But one of the struggles you have is trying to figure out, okay, when I go to the bathroom, do I turn the clock off or do I leave it going? Because then you're going to be billing the client for going to the bathroom.
Sure.
And then you go through a mental process like, well, is this going to be a long one or is it going to be kind of quick?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't know if you're going to be really working and stuff out.
Sure.
And then, but I went through this whole thing on stage, and I swear to you, crickets. Just like I just thought the whole process of at work struggling with, do I turn my clock off or not when I go to the bathroom? Because nobody else does that. Nobody who works in other jobs like, I'm gonna stay 12 minutes late because I had a huge number 2 this afternoon and I was in there for 10 minutes. Nobody does that, but
yeah.
Anyway, but I didn't get anything. I'm like, I'm never gonna try that again.
No.
But okay, was that a funny thing?
I think it's funny.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a funny, like, it's very like it's very Curb kind of.
Okay, I've heard that before,
you know?
too.
Like
yeah,
it is very much like a Larry David type deal. So, but so I could see that, or like in the invoice after, right? Like when you on the invoice, like the bill or whatever, like you have the total. You know, it's like whatever, $450 minus $18 for that giant shit I had to take. It's like something like that. Like there is a fun way to do that. I know you wouldn't say that, but it's like,
you're like a 20% discount because I had diarrhea that day.
Yeah. 20% off because I had a hell of a night before.
Spent a lot of time in the bathroom.
And
you know what I mean?
I'm still fighting this one. I'm sorry. So I'll give you a little something. Yeah, I mean, there is funny ways to do that. And like, because, you don't hear that perspective. You know what I mean? Like in comedy.
Because lawyers, I don't know, lawyers easily probably maybe, let's say they're $500 an hour to hire this lawyer, which is, a lot of lawyers are more than that, but let's just say it's $500 an hour.
Jeez.
So if they have a real big number 2 and they're in there for 30 minutes,
yeah,
and they didn't turn it off, you just got charged $250 for them going to the bathroom.
Take a crap.
Yeah, that's a $250 deuce.
That's a lot. That's a lot of money to be waiting on someone.
Now I don't do that. I turn off the clock, even for number 1, which they're quick.
And I mean, just by looking at you, I'm sure you got some real healthy bowel movements.
Oh, they're the protein ones.
They probably come out shining, man. It's probably a shame to flush your shits. You got to be like, sorry.
Sometimes you just want to take a picture, but you know what's wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it has a halo around it, for crying out loud, I mean, it's a marvel.
I have your number now, so I could send you.
Yeah,
I won't.
Yeah,
no, I'm not
it's
going
like this
to,
one's got the Virgin Mary. This one looks like the Virgin Mary. It's all just the most wholesome stuff. Yeah. That'd be funny. You doing that would be funny. Because it's not like you're, like Andy Gold. Like, look at this one I took. And I'd see one of yours and be like, how do you even make something so beautiful? Like, how do you... Golly.
Wait, has Andy Gold sent you?
No, but
Okay,
he just looks like a guy who takes some wild dumps. That's all I'm saying. Shout out Andy Gold. Check out Andy Gold Comedy. I got to give him a shout out now. Jesus. Give the guy a shout out. Anyway.
Oh, man.
So you're enjoying... how much backlash do you get for your political clips? Because, sorry, before you answer that, what I like about your lane is that you're never gonna run out of material to work with. Like the news is always happening. There's never not news, and if there is, they'll blow up a building just to make some news about it. But like. So that's what that's like really smart about, what you do. Because it's not like, you have to come up and create, funny takes and little quips on it. But a lot of the time, and this isn't a slight, but like a lot of the time, the kind of legwork is done for you in that area because, it's just some crazy thing that you're talking about, and that gets people talking, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's some new bill that's introduced, or some teacher in Florida has got huge tits, or whatever the case is,
Yeah.
And then you just kind of have to go up and say like, "Isn't this crazy?" And then you add but you can't even have too strong of a take. I noticed you're very you're kind of careful about that.
Yeah, I try to just think. Yeah, something in the headlines that everybody's talking about, which is, McCarthy just got booted. So I'm like, okay, how can I make a joke about Republicans who just want to fight each other rather than the Democrats? But I try to not go too hard.
Yeah.
I try to pick on maybe the leaders more and not generally anybody who's a Democrat, for example.
Sure.
Because I have friends that are Democrats.
Ugh.
They've all unfriended me, though. I've noticed. Don't think I haven't. I've noticed that you unfriended me, and you're not going to see this, but still.
They might be watching.
Yeah, so I definitely felt some... Because, I've had some friends that are Democrats who've unfriended me and stuff like that because I've started doing humor that kind of is from a conservative point of view. So
yeah, isn't that wild, man?
Yeah.
And it's especially if it's like people that you've known for a while, which it may be in some cases.
Oh, I've known some for a very long time, and
so
that was the thing. I'm like, I put up with all your crappy posts.
Yeah.
And I didn't give you any flack.
I didn't say anything about the black square. Yeah.
You didn't have any jokes in them either. Mine, there's a funny joke, or at least I'm trying. It's obvious I'm just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least I'm making content. That's so crazy. Isn't that so... It's so telling of people. I feel like, how do you know someone for so long and have a good time, enjoy their company, get to know them personally, spend time with them, spend time with their families, for crying out loud. And then it's like, oh, they're saying they made a joke about Pelosi. Well, you're a bad guy. I didn't realize.
This happened in a club with me. I was with a friend, and he's kind of on the other side of the political spectrum. The comedian on stage was making fun of conservatives, and I was with him. We were laughing because they were funny jokes. It was funny stuff. And then after the show, somebody started talking about, I think, Biden, and he walked off.
Interesting.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what? Hey, good joke is a good joke. For
crying out loud.
Are you kidding me? I've laughed at so many jokes about Trump or conservatives or people who go to church. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, I sit through open mic every week. It's just pretty much...
It's some real filth.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. But...
Yeah, how do you...
It bugs me when they can't win. It's like they have a certain area where you can't joke about that.
Yeah.
But this is the same thing, only it's...
Right, but just because it's your
side,
thing.
yeah.
I mean, that's that's the tale as old as time, right? With
Yeah.
comedy. I don't get how you, I mean, anyone who goes too political either way, I'm like, what are you doing? Or they make
Yeah.
it their personality.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing, man? Like,
yeah.
and then comedians who go too far in either direction, you know? Like the super woke comedians really confuse me. The ones who tailor their act to the woke audiences, because it's like you realize that you're trying to sell tickets to people who don't like comedy shows.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
the very woke is like, yeah, they don't like this stuff. They find it offensive, and this is the whole problem with them. Like, or this is their whole problem with stuff, is that it's offensive and it's not PC. It's like, so you're trying to get them to come to a comedy show? Like,
Yeah.
what do you?
So that they can make statements like, we should all be peaceful, and then everybody claps. Like, that's not a comedy show.
What are we doing, man?
Yeah. It's like, that's not comedy. That's not jokes.
Did you talk about have you done a thing about Hassan Minaj? Did you hear about that?
No. Oh, wait. Was he the one who made up?
Yeah, he lied
the
about all
story.
this stuff.
Yeah. I heard that. I haven't done
Yeah.
I should do a video on that, but I heard that.
Oh man, I loved seeing that. I loved seeing that. Like just, you're not perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, no one's perfect. You can't, and like, yeah, it was just a real like, yeah, how about that, huh?
Well, there was one comedian from LA who came to one of the clubs here. I won't say which one, but very, very progressive, woke.
Yeah.
And she ended up just kind of berating the audience for being, she called them every name in the book. And I'm like, the problem is they're not laughing because you suck. Like, nothing you're saying is funny.
Yeah.
None of the other comedians were all like, is this supposed to be funny? Like, what's she even doing up there? And like, she's used to being in LA with their super hipster, woke, progressive crowds going, yeah, we hate everyone.
Yeah.
Have fun in the rest of the country because we don't like that crap.
Yeah. We're not racist. You just suck.
Yeah.
You're just
so
not that
annoyed.
good.
And she just reverted to kind of like telling the crowd how much they sucked, which really made them want to like her more.
Oh, sure.
When
yeah.
she got done with that.
Well, I can't wait to see her again when she's in town. Yeah. Let's get her back.
fantastic.
I heard I don't know if this is my story to tell, but I heard it. I heard Marlon Wayans just did a show down at that new club.
Yes, I
down
heard
south.
that he was in Utah. Yeah.
And he was talking about his kid transitioning. His daughter's transitioning to a boy. And he's upset about it. You know?
Okay.
He's upset, and he was like vocally like, he's like, I'm pissed. I raised this girl and I didn't raise a boy. Now I got to raise a boy, and like, just messing with him as a dad, you know. And I don't think he hates gay people. I think it's just a very difficult and confusing thing to have to navigate, because it's like, it is kind of a lot to expect some really major changes like that, and to expect everyone to just react like, oh yeah, no, that's great, I know exactly what to do all the time. It's like, no, it's gonna be confusing for other people involved.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's gonna be something. It's just it's a serious thing. You're changing your freaking gender. So like, and he was on stage kind of talking about it, and he just kind of got quiet, and then somebody from the crowd, one of the crew or somebody, the club manager or something, was like, you okay? And he just broke down crying.
No, are you kidding?
On stage, just broke down crying.
No
Like,
way.
no one has asked me how I feel about this. No one has asked me. No one, like, this is the first place I've come to where people cared about how I feel about this situation.
Oh my gosh, that is wild.
And it's like, you know, and it really just goes to show, like, I feel like it's good to dispel that myth about, like, you know, middle country states, or like conservative states or whatever, where it's like, you know, people from LA and New York think we're all just fiddling banjos and tractors and thin blue line flags and all that stuff. But it's
right.
But no, we just kind of care about everybody. And
Yeah.
you can have an opinion that isn't the one that's being forced on you by like media and by, woke culture. That it's like, this is how you should feel about these situations. Like, well, let's just ask him how he feels about it.
Yeah.
Why don't we just ask the guy? He's right here.
Yeah. And that's amazing. I mean, that was really brave of him to be willing to even come out on stage and say that, because I can imagine if he would have said that on stage in LA somewhere. I mean,
they would have shut the mic. They would have turned his mic off. They would have shut down the show.
Yeah, they probably said in your band, like, you can't even come here. This is you can't have feelings.
Yeah, they'd been Marlon Wayans.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And who was it? I forget who did it, but I don't know if it was like Aries Spears or something like that. I forget who. Maybe not him, but this was years ago. I heard this on Rogan. They were talking about it, how there was a comedian doing a college show. It's 2015, 2016. And he's on stage and he had this joke. It's not my joke, but it's a very good one, I thought. And he goes, I know being gay isn't a choice because there are black people who are gay, and no one would choose to be gay if they were also black. And it's like, that's a funny, it's like, it is a positive minority joke, because he's acknowledging that it's tough to be either demographic, and it's going to be that much more tough to be both. So I know being gay isn't a choice, because who would want to be black and gay, right?
Yeah.
And they literally did that. They cut his mic and they said, "You're done. Get out of here."
No way.
Didn't pay him, and it like made the news and everything. It's like, and they don't even realize it's just because of buzzwords. Just because he said black, just because he said gay, just because he said, and I think the guy is black who said it too. Like, not that it matters, but like, for their purposes, it would matter. But it's like, this is the exact thing that side will. He's like, we need to be listening to all sorts of people and everything, and it's like, but you're not okay. But then you don't listen when they have this actually progressive take on the matter, but just the way they frame it, they're like, get out of here. I don't like that.
Yeah. Well, and the algorithms on YouTube and social media, they hear words like that and they're immediately like, my video is demonetized.
Yeah.
I have to submit it for manual review, because I'm like, there's no way you can take this as anything. But still, that really hurts me, because everything I do is topical. Right. And when they take a week to do their manual review, and then it comes back like, whoops.
Yeah.
We'll let it out now. Oh, when it's stale.
Right.
When it's thanks for killing it.
Yeah. You got to strike while the iron's hot with that kind of stuff.
Every time you get even close, I'm not even close to that line.
Right.
But they're like searching for those keywords just like that, and then boom, demonetized. That's not like, it's so lame. It's so lame.
Do you think the pendulum swings back? I feel like I've started to notice, the pendulum of PC woke culture stuff is starting to, because I feel like early 2000s we were saying a lot of wild stuff. Late 90s, 2000s. I mean, it gets even worse the further back you go. But just that short a time ago, we were saying a lot, like, calling things retarded or whatever. It was just part of the...
Yeah.
It was just everywhere.
That was just part of, like, that's how you normally would describe something. It's just...
And a lot of the stuff, I think some of the stuff back then, maybe we were a little too casual with it. And then it swings into this PC stuff that we have seen. Do you think it's starting to come back?
I mean, I feel like it's starting to come back a little bit, just because I've seen, I know there's a show called The Other Two or something.
Okay.
I watched 1 or 2 episodes, and they had some kind of edgier, funny stuff. Was on HBO, and I thought, okay, that actually got through.
Yeah.
They filmed that, they shot it, they put it on here, so maybe it's not quite as far as it was.
I like to think we're starting to swing back, especially with guys like Shane Gillis, as popular as he is today, and like that kind of stuff. Always Sunny, that show I really like. They've gotten away with some crazy stuff in it, and so I wonder. I
mean, I hope we swing back, because the problem is
so.
that they start to take away so much speech that is really important, but because it is within this, this area, we're like, I don't know, that's close. We better just shut it down.
Yeah.
You're hindering so much speech like that. I did just do a video where I said black lesbian. And YouTube did not demonetize it.
Hey!
And it was because this was Gavin Newsom appointed the senator to replace Feinstein.
Okay.
And he picked this black lesbian from Maryland.
Sure.
Because he had said he was going to pick. I think he said he was going to pick a black woman.
Before he knew any of the candidates. It's like,
absolutely,
got to be a black lady.
Yes, he had already picked that.
I don't even care.
Yeah.
What they know or don't know. You know what? A guy like me, I need a black lady.
That's it. And so I did say that, and when I clicked to submit, I thought, this is it. I know I'm going to get a little check mark, and it actually went through without being demonetized. So I was surprised.
That's
I'll
great.
be honest, I was really surprised, because I thought those keywords are going to get me. But
Man, I should do that, like, with relationships. Anytime you're single, and you're like, you know what my next girl is going to be? My next girl is going to be a Native American woman. I don't even care. I don't care what she can do, but that's what it's going to be. To just like outright choose, you know what? I'm going race first on this one. You know what I mean? You know what? Next time I'm thinking I'm going to date a Vietnamese gal. Yeah.
do they? Okay, I haven't seen dating apps because I've been married forever, but
Sure.
do they have, like, could you do that? Could you go into Tinder or whatever? Okay.
No. I mean, I haven't been on it in a while either, but I don't think the preferences are that specific yet. I'm surprised. I don't know.
Could you put it on like your profile picture or whatever, where across the front it just says seeking Native American something?
Yeah. My profile picture, I'm wearing a shirt that just says no fat chicks. But here's the thing, man. They're all kind of fat chicks. That's the problem.
I mean, if you had something like that, Native American or some, you would seem very progressive to a lot of.
Sure. Yeah.
A lot of women would be like, I wish I could date this guy because look how progressive he is.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just standing there. It's Mongolians only. Yeah, something like that. No dudes. I don't know. You can't. Yeah, I don't think they might let the women choose. I don't know what it's like from the women's side of like the dating app. But I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if that started coming though.
Well, you did you see my video about Lyft? That Lyft was going to let riders pick, not like women and non-binary riders could pick their drivers because they were trying to be super sensitive.
Yeah.
But I think,
that's going to get racist quick.
Racist, and it seems like, dude, that's going to backfire so fast and create some dangerous situations if somebody's like, oh, because couldn't they just pick, I just want to have just, if you had a bad person who was a driver, I'm sure they could probably game the system. And
man, they're like,
it just seems like a dangerous.
Yeah, they're like, our black and Middle Eastern drivers are getting no work lately. These women out here are racist, dude.
They probably won't follow up with that, but it just seemed like this doesn't even sound like it just immediately sounds like it's going to go wrong. I'm surprised they're thinking this is going to go well for them.
Well, in a way, it's just turning into a dating app now, like Lyft. So they're swiping through. They're like, no, he's short. No, I don't like his facial hair.
Why doesn't this driver have his weight?
Yeah. I can't see how tall he is.
Yeah. Why isn't his height on here?
That is a thing. I mean, they don't. Actually, I remember seeing there are some women who are a little more bold I'll say that with in their bios, they'll say like they won't specify like actually sometimes you might find some gems in there who are like black dudes only. I don't even care. And you're like, God, good for you. God bless you, ma'am. All right. And it's like, jeez. Or yeah, it'll be like no white dudes. I'm never offended, or I'd never get offended when I would see like if you're white, keep swipe left, and I'd be like fucking whatever, dude. Hey, have fun out there. You know what I mean? If that's what you're doing, I don't want any. Yeah, you don't want a guy like me. I don't want a gal like you. You're not gonna like me, and I can't do what you need me to do, obviously. Yeah. So they'll do it. You gotta specify in the bios though. But yeah, I don't think you can't filter out the height and stuff. But God, I bet you they're working on it. I bet there's some.
Well, in the corporate world, I have to fill out surveys like all the time where it's like they want to know everything about me, a company before they'll hire me, or to keep having me do work for them. They want to know what race I am, what sex I am, if I have any identification, whatever. And
yeah,
like I know I'm checking the box. It's like we're never going to talk to this guy again.
Right. I mean, they're asking you all that. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, I have all these things, and the very last one is like, are you a straight white male? Because you're not gonna.
Yeah.
It's like a.
You're just like, yeah, I am.
I mean, okay, here we go again. I'm just not gonna get the.
From now on, dude, when they send you that survey, you send back. You don't fill out any of the surveys. I'm not doing that. You just staple a picture of Triple H to the form, and you send that back to them. You go, here you go.
Now, what's Triple H?
All right, hold on. I'll think of a better one for the clip.
Sorry, okay, sorry.
For the
I'm
purpose
sorry.
of the clip.
I'm so lame that I didn't know
No.
that.
He's a wrestler, WWE guy. Let me think. Oh, Stone Cold. Would that work better?
Oh, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Now he's the white guy, right?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm trying to think of. Yeah. Okay. So they send you the survey, and instead of filling out all that, you just staple a picture. Who am I gonna? I gotta think of something now. I gotta think of a funny.
What about Lizzo? Or am I trying to get the job or not trying to get the job?
No, because you're like you're over it.
Okay.
You're like, I'm not doing this. You know what?
Prince Charles.
Here, you wanted you want a picture of me? Yeah, you just send him a picture of Damn it,
Vladimir
Triple H
Putin.
was really good one.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was trying to get the laugh.
Okay.
Because that would have been good for the clip, but I'm just gonna splice in you laughing a different time.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And I'm gonna show you. Andy texted me while we were talking. That's very funny. I'm gonna show you Triple H real quick, and then I'm going to check the time. That's Triple H.
Oh. Okay.
You just send them that picture.
Oh man.
You're like that's all you need to know. All right, we're coming up on an hour already. So we'll all right, so can you talk about do you feel comfortable talking about your last podcast appearance?
Oh man, I just was not prepared.
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
Because I just thought we're going to talk about me being a comedian and
Sure.
a lawyer. And
Yeah.
it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Two things go together, and that was not at all what they. It was. And I swear I did watch clips from the podcast to try to prepare myself, but they were the three that I clicked on were just him asking questions about whatever they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see any.
You didn't see the hot seat.
Intense. No, I didn't. And Andy gave me so much crap for not doing more research, but I will do more research next time. But I had
I think that was
idea.
Perfect. I think that was great. Like, because it wasn't set up for you to do well.
Oh, I was just dying. Like when I watch it, like I could see my face is turning red. I think this is where I'm about to burst into tears.
Yeah,
I'm just make it stop, make it stop.
Yeah.
It took like all afternoon, evening for me to just calm down because I was like, every question was just, oh, you think you're uncomfortable now?
Yeah.
Here's the next one. Bam.
Yeah.
Just like, oh my gosh. gosh, yeah.
What was the one in the hot seat? What's worse? Slavery. Oh yeah, true or false? Abortion is worse than slavery. Dude, what happened in your mind when you heard him finish that question?
I just thought I am dead. This will kill me. I probably won't even live to see home again because I'm gonna get killed. Because there's no right answer for that.
No,
There are
no.
very, very intense feelings either way.
Yeah.
It does not matter. I'm like, this is a lose. There's no way.
Oh man.
And yeah, he said, "Do you think they're the white babies one? Do you think we need more white babies?"
Right.
I just interpreted that as, should white people have children? Well, yeah.
Yeah, everyone.
But I think he probably meant
more white babies than other kinds of babies.
and that's not at all.
No.
But he
No.
didn't say anyway.
Do we need more white babies? And yeah, and as a reasonable man, you're like, I think we should still be populating the earth.
Yes,
Yes,
that was what
to be
I
white
meant.
doing it. Sure.
Yeah. We shouldn't tell any particular race, you guys need to stop having kids.
Yeah.
That's basically what I was.
Man.
It was.
I mean, at any point, because when I was watching it, and I'm just gonna throw in a couple of those clips that I showed you, you know, of the
Of when he's
sitting
like,
there.
Beta!
Yeah. What a beta.
He's calling me beta to my face.
He
Like,
called you a.
this.
Yeah. Wait, what am I doing here? Yeah.
At some point, I'm like, do I need to get up and get into a fight right now?
So I wanted to ask you that actually, because like when I'm watching it, I was like, especially with some of like the when he kept asking you, does your wife obey you? He asked you that four times. He asked you that 4 times.
He was not. It was like a dog on a bone. He is not. We're not going to let this go.
Yeah, until he got the answer he wanted, basically. But at any point, because when I was watching it, I was yelling at my phone, going like, "Hey man, you just get through it. You know, you compromise, and that's it. She has ideas. She has good ideas. I have good ideas. Sometimes we're on the same page. Sometimes we gotta talk. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, and like, or when he kept asking, yeah, does your wife obey you? What am I, a fucking caveman? Like, what am I? What do you? It's 2023, dog. What are you talking about?
I know. The very question is like, I didn't even know if you can ask that question like that without getting, pummeled by everyone.
Yeah, it's like I that's what I was saying when he kept asking that. Probably like this 3rd or 4th time he asked you that question. I was like, I don't know, man. I've been married, and you just get through it. You know?
Yeah.
Were you holding back from just like going like, hey man?
Yeah. In my head, I'm like, okay, he's filming this. It's going to be on the internet. Just remain calm and try to be nice. I just kept like, be nice.
Followers, all that shit.
Yeah. Like he had like 500,000 YouTube. I'm like, okay, I don't want to lose my mind and start throwing stuff, but remain calm. And he kept wanting me to hate my mom, which was another weird thing.
Yeah.
My mom's an angel. What did you say? Why did your brothers and sisters hate her? I'm like,
so you said like my mom is like a literal angel. My mom was a literal angel on earth, like the closest thing to perfection that I've ever seen. You'd be like, so your mom was perfect? You'd be like, yeah, she was absolutely she was an absolute gem. She was perfect. We all love and miss her dearly. And he'd be like, so why do your brothers and sisters hate her so much? You're like, they don't.
I could not believe he was going after my mom.
I know.
Like, what?
I know. And then he was like, so your dad was happy when she died? You're like, no.
It's so brutal. I'm like, how do you win by wanting to have someone hate their mom?
Yeah.
No one.
What are you trying to get out of this?
Yeah.
Reverend?
It was, oh man, it was so rough.
So you were holding your tongue. You had to.
Yeah, no, I was just like,
I
want to get through this. Don't look bad. Don't get upset. Just try to be, agreeable, nice. Try to answer. But I was sweating like a hog.
Sure.
Jeez.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Yeah. That is brutal. That was brutal.
It was so rough, man.
Okay. Well, what's coming up for you, Wes? What do you got coming up? You want to throw in any plugs? We'll wrap this up.
My just gonna keep cranking out YouTube videos. Wes Austin on YouTube, and I post a lot of reels on Instagram. I think I'm Wesley.Austin2. on Instagram. So,
All right.
and don't have any headlining dates for stand up, but hopefully within the next 5 or 6 months or something, I'll get
You'll
another
be
one.
getting something soon, I'm sure. Yeah. Have you done a Rickles yet? Have you done a weekend there?
No, I haven't done a Rickles room yet. I
you
mean,
should be
I've
doing
opened, but I haven't actually headlined the Rickles
Yeah,
room yet.
I'm sure you'll be doing that pretty soon, at the very least, if not like Ogden or something, you know.
Yeah.
Check out Wes's. Check out you got to check out the podcast he did with the Reverend Jesse something, right?
Yes. Yeah. Jesse Peterson.
There you go. Check
The
that
Fallen
one out.
State.
Yeah, fallen state.
The Fallen State.
Are human beings in a fallen state? You're like, excuse me? Yeah, so you got to check that out. Yeah, check out Wes on YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. And then look out for live dates. Check out treylam.com for my live shows, and you can grab some merch there. Email the pod, deadbeatsunpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your hot takes or any questions or topics you want us to cover. And pleasure to have you, Wes.
Thanks for having me, Jay.
Yeah,
Very
thanks for
cool.
being here.
Very fun.
That was a lot of fun. All right. That's Deadbeat Son. Thanks for watching.
See you later. Hey, thanks, man.
That was fun.
Hopefully I had fun. I hope
Yeah.